Hello, 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 hello. Everybody's whispers. It's not the button I wanted. That's the button I wanted. Alright. Gonna have some fun in the basement of Umbar Baharbêl on my Mythgard minstrel, who is playing through the Song of Waves and Wind. And, a couple of things. I would like to apologize for the stream being a little bit late tonight. And that was because I had scheduled a delivery. And the best time in terms of delivery price was 8 to 9. And they didn't arrive until like 10 after 9. Good times. And also they did a little something that I'm not happy with, but partly it's my own damn fault, is you should tell them no substitutions if there's something that I've noticed the past couple of times that I've had delivery or pickup orders like this. If the exact item I'm looking for isn't there, they will get something similar to that item, but I tend to buy the store brand, and they tend to buy the brand, the name brand, and those are invariably more expensive. In one case, they just bought a different version of the brand, of the store brand, that was $2 more. And then the other one, I had wanted some Kerry Irish butter. I like the soft stuff that comes in the little tubs, but I always get the refill blocks, the soft refill blocks. And instead, because those were on a special weekly discount sort of deal. Instead, they got me the full price set of butter sticks. I'm like, I like the soft butter. I don't like the butter sticks. I mean, butter sticks are awesome when you're baking. But anywho, how y'all doing? What y'all up to? We are in the basement. We're in Umbar Molk. We have just come back to this character's journey through the Song of Waves and Wind. I had to figure out where the hell she was. And this is the character that I run with Professor Corey during Exploring Lord of the Rings on Tuesday nights, and she is indeed wearing the best title in the game. That isn't the perfect ones that my Phoenix characters wear because, Dances with Tentacles is something that comes from a specific run of Kitsukala that you have to not kill something in the boss fight room on a certain difficulty or whatever. And the late Crow might help me get that title. I think Andang was actually leading the party, and then Crow might came in to save our bacon. But anywho. So I don't change it. And it actually kind of really funny because, of course, the title does makes the 12-year-old and everybody go, but what's really funny is I wear that during the streams with Corey. So it's got this, pure as the driven snow university professor, and then occasionally you see me running around with his Dance with Tentacles title. But he normally doesn't have nameplates on, so he doesn't see our nameplates. But everybody else in the group can. So there's that. So the other reason why the stream is so late is because I needed a freaking nap. Today, Signum University hosted Willowmoot in Leuven, Belgium, which means it was on Belgian time. And therefore, I wound up working from, I set my alarm for 2 o'clock in the morning. And then the moot ran until like 1:30 or something. So, yeah, it was a long work day. But it was a really good mood. I mean, I got to run the slides for the legendary Dr. Sarah Brown. And got to listen to Dave Brons. Brons. You should check him out at davebrons.bandcamp.com because this is a guy who is a prog rocker who writes songs inspired by Tolkien. And much like how Miriam Ellis paints scenes from Tolkien, I mean, she does extensive research into the books to find the exact lore, everything, you know, all the details of the scene that she's about to paint. But she invariably paints things from that scene that bring out the emotion of that scene. And Dave is self-admittedly not that deep of a Tolkien scholar, but what he did with his pieces that we got to listen to, the clips that he showed, his music gets the emotion perfectly. So that is really, really awesome. So we're going to continue with the story, and if folks show up, we're going to do a Lotro Points giveaway or two because I've got codes needing to go. Yep. And hey, we're going to get a level 141 Tracer, which this character cannot absolutely use. That's amazing.
You seek to learn where Tatata, the sea beast, has gone. I have not seen her for quite some time.
Okay, so we're chasing down Tatata. Alright, examine the notice board to the southwest. Southwest is over this way. Kitty cats, are you playing? The cats are playing. So I basically took a nap all weekend. Alright, we gotta go kill a bunch of dudes, get their jewelry, defeat decayed arms, and find an axe that was misplaced. Alright, we're going that way. I think I legit think that they did alter the maps for Umbar and Umbar Mulk, because I do not honestly remember them showing the wells, the cellars, the vaults. I just saw them showing the dwarven names. But the one thing I dislike about Umbar Mulk is the fact that it's so angular and it feels very unnatural. Like, there's so many straight corridors, and then you've got your angled corridors, and then finally down here are the ones down here seem the most natural to me, down in the berths. These feel like natural caves. These just look like, I don't know, an ant colony with certain rocks in it. So, not my favorite. But anyhow, I need to get from here to here. So, we've got to go down this hallway, over here, click over here. It's just so many different things to do to get to where you need to go. I do, though, appreciate the ore nodes for everything down here. Oh, I don't have any more scholarship. Yeah, this character technically is a scholar, but does not actually have. I haven't level. She's not my main scholar, so I don't level her scholar thing. So we're gonna ignore all of the crafting nodes because they will do me no good. And I do have to say, this is kind of like the creepiest frickin' area. I don't like crypts and tombs in general, especially when they've obviously been neglected like this. Alright, we're gonna go murder people down here. Now, one thing I would like to point out is your reputation. Is because my main has gone through so many places, what I don't understand is why I don't have favorite standing with Conquest of Gorgoroth. These I can kind of understand, but the Conquest of Gorgoroth makes no sense to me. So I need to go back and do a lot more of the catch-up completionist with my main. Yeah, why the hell I don't have favorite standing with these guys? I know I'm at kindred with both of them. So I don't get that. Maybe because I need to actually start acquiring a reputation with them myself, and then I'll get the thing. I don't know. But then again, I've had other characters where I had nothing listed for favorite status. Like, I hadn't even talked to that particular group before. So their listing a favorite status or not didn't show up at all. So I don't know. Maybe I don't understand how that system works, which is entirely possible. Now, I do remember that the axe is way the fuck down this way. So we're just going to run down here. And we're going to kill this creeping arm right here. One thing about playing minstrel is I am getting used again. Getting used to playing a ranged character again. I'm not used to playing a ranged character. Because I've been playing my champion a lot. And other melee classes a lot. And not only in this, but also in DDO. I've been playing range class, or melee classes for so long. I was playing a caster the other night, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm gonna go get this in here, and everybody's gonna aggro on me. I know it's not even anything I need. But I am getting crafting mats, because I like crafting mats. Okay, so we don't need to worry about any more decaying arms, but we do need to hit that guy to get... There we go. And now all I need is the actual axe, which I believe is down here. Well, looks like I am incorrect. Well, I was right, but I was in the wrong side of the screen. I actually wish Twitch would stop updating the chat window, because it's flickering like there's new chat there, but there isn't any new chat there. Makes me sad. So it's been a busy day, but then I had to sleep. I'm not gonna lie, I had to sleep. But one of the things I occasionally do these days is, while I'm facilitating moots, I typically will have like Locho and or DDO up silently in the background, so I can get like housekeeping tasks done while I'm waiting to do some work for the actual work. It keeps me awake, for one thing, especially if I'm working a moot that's on a different schedule that I'm used to. So it definitely helps me there. And typically I just wind up doing things that I can immediately just stop what I'm doing for a second. Oh, I didn't even need to hit that guy. Oh man, it's a rich node. God damn it. You know me, I love the rich nodes. Alright, Devil Lord just went live with next streamathon starts soon. I've never done a streamathon. Mainly because a lot, I mean, like streamathon slash subathon, because it's like, I don't have enough viewers to really justify that sort of thing, I don't think. So, I'm gonna go pop up Lore's stream. Why is that not showing? Oh, he hasn't gone live yet, that's why. He will in a moment, though. Oh, there he did. Let me pop up his stream so I can wave. Okay, we did not want that to happen. Thank you. It's because I hit the M key. So, that's one of the reasons why I don't have his stream open to audio. Because there we go. Hopefully that brief clip won't wind up getting me muted, but anybody would notice. Alrighty. Let's continue our quest. We're avoiding side quests. Because we're avoiding side quests. Or it's like right here. My main will eventually come back and do all of these quests, but her catch-up completionist stuff is stuck. Basically, she's done most of Eriador. The only stuff she hasn't done in Eriador is like the Angle of Mythithal and shit like that. Okay, lean the axe right there. Talk to our boy Cordon. I can't wait until Corey gets to this content. Because when he realizes who Nestina Nesorne is, he's gonna lose his fucking mind. And I'm gonna be here for that. Okay, let's do more stuff. Talk to Baruch Kazad. Ha ha ha. I keep going the scenic route around the puddle in the middle.
I spoke to some of my fellows about the missing Kinzul and Tatata, and none of them have seen her of late.
Okay, and I love Maid of Lions to bits and bits and bits, you know that. But when I'm trying to get toward a level cap, I do try to skip through the story as fast. Find an entrance to the hidden harbor in the southeastern corner, which is way the hell down there. So we're gonna go out this, and then instead of going right, we're gonna go left. But the thing is, I keep forgetting you can ride goats down here, so we're gonna ride a goat. Meh. Except this is a dead end. Why am I in a dead end? I need to go this way. I needed to not turn left yet. That's what I needed. Guarendis, hello! How are you? This looks like they should be... They're in the wrong spot. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this place. Again, I don't like creepy horror-filled places, which this definitely is that. Which is kind of why I'm blasting through this as quick as I can to get back outside into Umbar. But I know the epics are going to bring me in and out around here fairly often. Pontin Finberry. Hello, sir. How are you? I mean, this part I don't mind quite as much, because this looks like I would expect an underground cave to have. Though, I do have to say, I like this texture for the ceiling. I also think that it looks too regular, especially with, you know, these Gondorian slash Numenorian pillars there. Do you like the arches? Very much like the arches. I love the mosaic work. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. We're supposed to be in here. Hey, it's our old friends here. I like these two
What does
kids.
my sister think?
Well, she just told us the one thing. Alright. Let's go defeat some Corsairs. How y'all doing? What are y'all up to? Okay. Let's go find some more captains. I do actually like this hidden cove, this hidden ship grotto. Back there about 10 years ago, there used to be a game. Did you raise your got mounts from the quest Bloody Threshold and Hidden Ooh, nice. One thing about this game is you unfortunately cannot go back and solo most of the older raids, even something as older as Hidden Horde or whatever. Though you know, we're eventually. Oh, I need to reach out to some people because when Corey gets off his butt and goes to the Gundabad, he's going to want to do the raid for the finale of the story. So we're going to need to get a raid group to take Corey through the raid on his Lotro stream. Or we might have to wind up doing it on his weekend marathon. Actually, it's going to be his weekend marathon first. Though I'm sure Grifflet will want to do it too at some point, but he's going to want to do it.
Yes.
Okay, ask Baruch about the map we recovered. Okay, we can do that. Gonna ride our goat again. Yeah, so Umbar Baharbêl is very much like Moria, only not as... I mean, Moria is not as gross. Shush you. It's a glowworm. But there's something... See... The corrupted parts of Moria are like supernatural corruption, so you can kind of write them off, right? Whereas the corruption in here is all human stuff. Not you. You gotta go. Baruch is missing. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He's not here.
We need to know what has happened.
152! Yes! It's lore! I'm gonna play the thing there. Do we know what might have happened to Baruch?
Baruch. I have not seen him for a few hours.
Okay, what happened with the notice board? The axe is missing. Talk to Corridon.
Yes.
So you got two choices of where this person could be. The easier one to get to is the one right here. The more difficult one to get to is the one over there. So I'm going to go to the easy one because I'm not a dummy. And I want to get this done as quickly as possible. It's time to go play with spooters. Not your favorite place, but it was one you made wiki pages for, such as in Milk. Well, see, we appreciate you for that, Ponton. Alright. Somebody had to do that. I mean, I'm not an arachnophobe by any stretch of the imagination. But in general, I just don't like walking where there are corpses all over the ground. And body parts and skulls and bones and shit. Actually, no pages for the region as well. I just remembered. Okay. Okay. Did we go too far? Not far enough. Here is a corpse. Speaking of corpses. Loot corpses. You can't see me! Pardon me.
I did not know the spiders had come to Nishabet in such numbers.
Okay, now we have to go to the next place to find him. Ow. Oops, I went the wrong way. grab our travel guide.
May the seas be calm and the winds fair.
One thing I do need to do though is I need to go into my shared storage and get my boxes. Makes the inventory a little bit nicer. Good enough. Let's go talk to the person we need to talk to. Our boy Baruch.
The adventuring life. How do you do it, day after day? We are outsiders in Umbar Baharbêl. We patrol these caverns and keep them as safe as we can, but we do not live here.
Okay. Alright, this is not where I want to. I think I need to go back upstairs and then. No, I don't. Maybe I do. Well, there's a rat. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you say that you still have several more days to go there. Yeah, I feel that. I feel that hard. Okay, these are not the guys we're looking for. I also hated the fact that you had to go through these camps in order to get where you needed to go. Well, that at least was a rat I needed to kill. I think I need to make some adjustments to my to my thumbstick again because it's acting real squirrely. Like it doesn't want to actually move, so I'm having to resort to. Whoops, that wasn't a rat that counted. Need one more rat. It doesn't want to seem to do stuff. Alright, now I just need to find the crocodiles. Interesting that I can't talk to that guy because I haven't found this place yet. There we go.
Good day to you, traveler.
Well, since I have to kill them anyway, I might as well kill a bunch of them. Get a little bit more XP. Since I got to anyway, I might as well get some good XP out of it. And now that I'm looking for them, not a damn one do I see. Oh, there's one. This is where all the crocodiles are. Rawr. Okay. So I might as well just go that way, turn in that one quest, and then go all the way back down to the other place. Little goblins. Little goblins.
Good day to you, traveler.
Hello. Man, this place looks like a prime place to get athlete's foot. Thank you. Okay, we're gonna take the tunnel guide to go, well, might as well go back here to Itaken and then just go north from there again.
May the seas be calm and the winds fair.
If the seas are calm, then typically it means you ain't got no damn winds. Alright, let's go to the north. Let's actually... we go back up this way. No, that's actually the door outside. We don't want that. I didn't know there were Maribel down here. Okay, we need to go up and around. Luanori, good evening to you, good friend. How are you? Well, since you're all here, let me get the giveaway open so if you win later, it's fine. Set. Because I don't know all of y'all, so if you want points, we're giving away 2 codes tonight. And I will be giving away some more points next week as well. That way you can get entered in. If you win, I will just DM you and send you the code. Okay. I need to go one thing over. I'm running into things. The Tarasi. Basically street urchins who live in Umbar Baharbêl. Okay, we gotta go steal some food from up top. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see. Where are we going? We'll just go up out of here. It's with an area. Go points, points. do, 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 do. And we are way the hell down there, but we are also just around the corner from a stable master. It'll get us where we need to go.
Umbar is a free city at last.
It is a free city at last. Quickest stable point to use, North Gate. Yeah, probably the North Gate. Okay. Why am I riding that? We're gonna risk it all and ride a war steed through this city. YOLO! I like this quest a lot because you have to have played through the story to basically beat her in her, basically it's like a lore gatekeeping kind of thing. And so it's actually one of my favorite quests in the game because it kind of punishes you for not paying attention. Have I been seen? Yes, I have been.
What do you think you're doing? None can avoid my watchful gaze.
I love the voice acting in Umbar Baharbêl. It's so good. Kindred business. One thing I appreciate about the game is how they make sure that, like, when you just read the books, you only see one side of the story. And what the game does is it makes one-dimensional so-called villains into multi-dimensional characters with their own motivation, their own viewpoints on things. It's actually really good. Alright, where's the door to the basement that was in here? Right here. The one that looks very different from all the other doors. It wasn't up this far. It was the one right here. Yeah, I've been traveling for the last 40 minutes, so getting to the new Glorious Hunt quest pack area. You looked up and saw the bridge just as I was going to join her. Yep. Getting there is a little bit of an adventure. Corey. Corey's doing a thing. Corey is awake in the middle of the night in Belgium. No, it's fine. Basically, I need to log into the Signum Twitch account to do something. And the thing is, the Signum Twitch account has the send a code to whatever sent to his email address. And so normally when I need... I haven't needed to use that for a while. And I expect I won't need to use it again for a while. But what I will do is I will X out of that. I will X out of that. And I'll take this over to the Signum channel. I'm actually going to log out of Twitch on my browser real quick. Hopefully it doesn't mess up anything on the stream. It shouldn't, because I'm logged in somewhere else. So I'm just waiting for him to send me the code so I can log in. Because I need to change a couple things on their Moobot. Because Willamoot's over, so now I need to prep it for the next Moot. And I also need to prep something else. So good times all around. Should get an email. Wow, autocorrect, you suck. Remember when AI was just autocorrect and now it's like autocorrect on steroids? Ooh, and it took away my Twitch shout. How nice. Oh no! Reduced awareness. Well, let's just go back to where we were while I'm waiting on Corey to send me the message. La 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 la. Let me through! Let me through this other door! Whoa! Man, the rubber banding.
You have returned. Were you able to draw the notice of any among the Darasi?
Oh, okay. I don't think that was supposed to happen. What I'm going to do on this one, I'm actually going to ride all the way down here and grab that stable point. And then make the cut and go north. Or we're just gonna find all of these dudes. Screw all of you all. Alright, hold that thought. Corey sent me the code. Alrighty. There we go. Alright. So now that I'm logged in there, I can update Moobot by being logged in as Signum University. Only Signum U. I am Signum U today. Okay, log out. Connect with Twitch. Authorize. Yes, leave me alone. Leave Corey alone. Damn it. Moobot is a butthead. So one of the things I do is after a moot is over, I update Moobot to point to the new moot. So I need to look up the new moot real quick. Our next moot? Well, there's Myth Moot is actually next. So Myth Moot is next. And that is going to be June 25th to 28th. We'll make it post that. Boop. And then after that, our next moot is actually in Alaska, and we're calling it Helcaraxa Moot. Because we're that funny. are amusing ourselves on June 25th through 28th in Leesburg, Virginia. Sweet. Now log out. And I will switch my Twitch back to my own account. Oh, the work I have to do while I'm actually not... Well, technically I'm getting paid for this, I suppose. Let's go back to my page, shall we? Let's go back to my stream manager, shall we? There we are. Yay, I can see myself again. Alright, now let's reconnect Moobot to my account. Thank you. Not that I ever need to worry about my Moobot. Let's pop chat out again. There we are. Oh. Come down here, you little chat window. So I can see what Leonori and Garendis and Ponton are saying. And Thorndos, you played a mariner through Umbar story and on just near the dock is such a lifesaver. I know. Excuse me. Excuse you. Excuse you. Okay, so now that I've done that, I can also go back to... I always keep a tab open to the Twitch following page. And then I can go to anybody else's page from there if I need to, like Devilors. Devilors playing Repo with his buddies. So that's nice. Okay, work is done. All the other pages are gone. Alright, let's focus. Off we go. Remember I said I was going to go to this place first, so I need to actually finish going down this path. Oh, I'm not gonna stop for crafting mats. What, Druid? What are you talking about? Alright, then we... Alright, screw you all. You and that other person over there. Hell with all y'all. So I have played through the entire Mizadi storyline, so I'm not going to spoil it for Thurundos because you haven't played through it yet. We did talk about it last night as I was playing through it yesterday on Lojo Stream. It was a thing. So now I'm officially caught up with all of the game's story. Oh, it's a candle just sitting there on the ground? Yeah, I'll pick up a random ass candle on the ground. Because the candle's already a candle, so... You're not picking up this... You're not gathering the scholar mat, so that's kind of cool. So we're not going to talk about the current story, because you haven't played through it yet. Really? Really? Oh, I did say I was going to go... to get the stable point back there, wasn't I? Whoops, I'm going the wrong way. Somehow I managed not to break a leg on that, which is kind of hot. Didn't break a leg on that either. Also kind of hot. Elves, man. Mushroom, mushroom. Badger, 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 badger. I do like that they just put some random crafting mats down here. Like, yep, there's a mushroom. You little bitch.
Good day to you, Traveler.
Good day. Goodbye. What does Corey want? I am explicit. Corey's like, did you get any sleep? Because he knew I was on working all night for the thing while he was, in daytime in Belgium. And so, yeah, he was like, oh, did you get it? Because, that's the running gag is, did you get any rest? Did you get any rest? I don't know. Alright, go back down the hallway, bang, alright. And so I said, yeah, I got some sleep, it was very restful, and now I'm streaming, and you're not allowed to watch because this is content you haven't played through yet. Because that's the running thing, is we are very careful about ensuring Corey does not accidentally get spoiled on the story. He has not played through anything since War of Three Peaks. Man, bats, you freaking suck, man. I do like me some mini AoEs. So yeah, basically I literally just told Corey that he's not allowed to watch my stream because I'm playing stuff he hasn't been to yet. So he has not played through Gundabad. He doesn't know the story of Gundabad. He hasn't played through Corsairs of Umbar. He hasn't played through anything Gundabad onward. Neutral Agent dropping one of my oldest Twitch emotes right there. One that I made by hand. Unfortunately, I don't think I still have the original file for that. Alright, y'all. Let's go again. I like playing Minstrel. It's honestly a lot like playing Disc Priest in WoW. You can do a whole shit ton of damage, and you can also heal the fuck out of yourself. I actually do have the OG Legion Mage Tower appearance for Disc Priest, too. Thank you to Automatic Jack for the guide on how the hell to do that. I don't have all of the OG Legion artifact appearances, and I think Blizzard are little bitches about that. They need to just let us have them. Hey! I got it. Look! It's my deed tree! It's my deed, Laurelyn! Oh, the tree truck went with me in the tops. The canopy did not. That's funny. The crown of the tree.
Let us move forward with care.
Okay, now we're gonna go back down there and deliberately kill those guys. It's gonna be amazing. My D&D DM would love to have this as a title in any video game that he plays. Because his handle is Archivist Owl. He's been on the cover of the Wall Street Journal accidentally. So he famous. Once upon a time, a couple years ago, they were doing a front page story about Gamescom, and there was a photo of a gamer riding. This is when Blizzard was there, and they had these animatronic things that you could quote unquote ride, and then you put on a VR headset, and they had a fan in front of you, and it moved around to simulate that you were flying on the back of a griffin through Stormwind City. And he was going through that thing, and it was his photo of him with his long hair being blown back by the fan, because it just lent itself really well to... Okay, I didn't want to do that. That's okay. Lent itself very well to the headline of gamers have a hair-raising adventure at Gamescom or whatever. Alright, we got cultists. Now that I don't need sand sifters, that I do need sand sifters, I'm never gonna find a one. See, I'm just gonna see bats all over the place. Oh no, what do you want? Corey said he'll be good. That's because he's flying home today. That's actually might be why he's up. Because it's 6 hours, so it's 11 o'clock now. Roughly 11 o'clock. So it's 5 a.m. over there. Yep, he's up early because he has to fly home. Yeah, normally when he goes over to Belgium for the long moots, and often his missus, they just make it like a date week or something. They do a little bit of touring and whatnot, as they can, but this time he couldn't. Like on there. Alright, I need more sand sifters. Well, there's one. I also need to look at those other places anyway. About the only thing I don't really like about this, as I mentioned, is like the ceilings are too flat. They're too regular. I mean, the rest of this is like, it's ginormous. It obviously took a shit ton of work to make them be what they are. But they would have had to have carved out this space, or otherwise found a ginormous underground cavern. And in this place, at least for like the columns and the roofs and whatnot, they kept it, they forced it to thing. Hey, Buxark, how you doing? A guide recommended checking the ledger cipher codes that get you little things. Basically what they have is... Hi, guys. There are weekly sales. They'll have like a little freebie code every week, and you can just find that. You're in the Lotro Discord, because I've talked to you there. You can look in like the announcements channel and the service news channel, and that's and the sales and promotions channel, that's typically where they post any of their weekly coupon codes. That's always the best place to get because that's official. Now the Lotro wiki occasionally will keep track of those items, but it's not something that they do on a regular. Alright, we're just gonna nuke all these guys. Ah. And generally the new weekly codes come out every Thursday. The only time they don't come out on Thursdays is when it's Thanksgiving. Or there's an actual rotating holiday that winds up being on a Thursday. You guys are gross! So I'll just nuke you from orbit, because that's what minis do. Hey, I need another sand sifter. Now you're dead. Alright, now we can go back and talk to Corridon. Up in the corridor. Yep, I just did that. And much of the way will actually be clear because we just cleared it. And they won't have yet respawned until we get closer to the other end. I do think that this area in general is just way too damn big. But I also appreciate the devs experimenting with other building styles and other sizes of structures and whatnot. But just, in general, Umbar Baharbêl is not one of my favorite places at all. I'm stuck! No, I'm not. I'm gonna get away from you because I'm on a goat. Totes my goat. Mushroom! Mushroom! Mushroom, mushroom. Too bad there aren't any badgers down here. Though they did actually lean into that meme. It's one of the few times that they actually did lean into a pop culture reference. There is a quest that is basically a badger, mushroom, snake. In the Vales of Anduin in the Bjorning Lands, and it's hilarious as hell. By the way, Buxark, if you want some free Lotro points, I am doing a giveaway right now. If you put the word POINTS with an exclamation point at the end, you can enter the giveaway and for a chance to win. Yay. Alright.
There is something worrisome on the air. Let us move forward with care.
Yeah, this doesn't look like it's 5 seconds away from a total collapse or anything.
Look out!
And we're just gonna stand there and let her run us over. It was our true glory, just saying. Hi, Miyabi. Can one convert Lotro points into much needed DDO points? Sorry, I'm a ref. No. They are two completely separate games in that regard. Because people would game that system because it's way easier to grind Lotro points than it is to grind DDO points. We know this. This is also one reason why DDO's bags are way better than Lotra's bags. But DDO also has better crafting storage than Lotra does. And how cheap that is. Sorry, the code didn't work. Yeah, you'd mentioned that last time, and I'm going to need to talk to Cordo about that. Or Snipes, who's the one who actually hands out codes. We'll get you fixed up with a 30-day code. Worst case scenario, I'll just give the one for next month. We have found Cruel Dancer.
I was careless. I believed I knew all there was to know about my prey. But I was wrong.
Remember, the kindred of the coins had bounties on their head from Sakalafel, the wife of... Man, why can't my Bjorning be that big? From the widow of Balakor, the Scourge. I want to be Galatani again instead. Alright, we don't know if she's gonna survive if we take her out. Take her outside. And then we get this beautiful version of Umbar. Like, the city is there, and you got this beautiful blue twilight that you don't normally see in the game at all. And you get the beautiful moon as well. Can't go very far, but I do want to get a good screenshot of this because you don't often get to see the moon very differently in the game. I mean, you do, but you kind of don't. Alright. And she tells us her story. Her husband was accused of stealing a vase from a wealthy nobleman, a man called Firasak. He did not. I know he did not, but he was slain for the crime. So you were an adventurer who had to take on even more dangerous tasks to support your daughter. Murder paid the best. And the first victim was the person who had your husband killed. As now Hazafin, Cruel Dancer. So I would like to point out the names here. We have Hazafin is the real name, the one that she would say when we say Cruel Dancer. She would say Hazafin. And the fact that they have translated or transliterated the English into the local language, like, I don't think a lot of people realize just how much work Chris Pearson has put into, in essence, creating the languages the same way that Tolkien did. I don't think people really understand that. And he's actually a special guest this weekend at Westmoot, and so I'm kind of sad that they don't have an online component like we do. I think they do, but it's not the same as ours, I think. But one of the other things is they don't publish their schedule, so you don't know when people are presenting until you actually register and pay the money, which is like, okay. We actually said, here's our schedule. Would you like to come to our event? So we generally don't keep that close to the vest because having our guests' names out there and what they're going to be doing, it's like it's a selling point. But he hasn't done a presentation for us at Signum for like 10 years. And I was mentioning to Corey, Corey, he's at the other moot this weekend. We should get him to one of our moots soon. And he thought that was a good idea. He does a ton. He even helps make hundreds of names for the neighborhoods. Yeah, Ponton, exactly. He's probably the one who created the name Shagâna. Like, we say Herod because that's what the historians, the in-character historians, called the place. That's the Gondorian name for the place. But the locals didn't call it that. It's like Mount Denali in Alaska. Denali is what the locals called it. White dudes rolled in and called it Mount McKinley. So I do really, really like the anti-colonialism story that they've been telling here in Shagâna. Because it's an important story to tell. And quite frankly, also because it pisses certain people off because they don't want to hear that kind of history. They don't want to hear that the white people were the bad guys. They don't want to hear the other side of the story. But Lotro's been doing that for fucking decades, right? Rohan and the Dunlendings was probably the previous biggest example of that. They didn't go anywhere near as far as they did here for Herod. So I think there's some people like, oh my god, I don't want to be... this isn't close to the line. They made shit up. Well, of course they made shit up because Tolkien didn't write it. But what Chris Pearson and Made of Lions and the other developers did is take what we do know for facts within their license, because that's also one of the other key things. They do not have permission to use any of the shit from outside of The Hobbit, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and the appendices. No Silmarillion, no Unfinished Tales, no History of Middle-earth, none of that. They don't have access to any of that shit. That's why they don't have access to Anatar as a name, because it was never actually used in those three sources. So as much as we know more about the other fiddly bits of Middle-earth that Tolkien wrote about, Standing Stone can't use it. So they have to say, okay, I can't use this, but I can use that. What can I do off of the thing that I can have access to? What kind of crafting can I do? And some people are like, oh, this kind of sucks. This is... But I don't think they would have been happy either way, right? Because they have a narrow-minded view of what the books are and are not. And quite frankly, some of them haven't actually read the books. Well, let's put it that way. And they're operating from... It's kind of like a lot of their some of the same people are slagging on Rings of Power. Where Rings of Power has the same problem. Only they have a little slightly less constricted access to certain names. Like they can use the name Anatar. They could use the name Monway, for example. Because they had to get special permission for it, and money talks. Let's put it that way. Money talks. So Amazon got permissions to do things that Lotro does not have. Because Lotro's gotta make stuff up in places with a little go on. Everyone does. Even recent game announced an expansion of the Middle-earth map, making stuff up. Yeah. Yep. Oh, you mean the War Horse folks? They're gonna do the open world Lord of the Rings. And it's not an MMO. It's gonna be more like Jedi Survivor. Fallen Order. Whatever those two, the ones with Cel Cestus or whatever his name is. So they're going to be more like that, I think. And I'm for one, I'm probably going to, whatever that game winds up being, I'm probably going to play it. Since it's not being made by Amazon, there's a more likely chance it's actually going to get made. Let's be honest, Amazon has got 2 Lord of the Rings MMOs they have not managed to create. And I don't like to slag on Amazon because they're Amazon, because unfortunately, there's at least one former Lotro dev who got laid off when they shut down Amazon Game Studio. So I feel bad for the developers affected, but Amazon can go fuck itself. Amazon the company, and I'm saying this while I'm streaming on an Amazon subsidiary company platform, because they obviously don't care. All right. Oh, she had questions about me. So I don't.
My words have injured you. I am sorry.
And we'll see. Tato.
For a lot.
By the way, the voice actor for Cruel Dancer is Deborah Wilson. Yes, that Deborah Wilson. Oh, she's so good. And she did work for DDO as well. She did she did all the female DM work for their Secrets of Salt Marsh expansion. Was that good? But in general, when it comes to adaptations, Corey has said this aloud, and there are times I will disagree with my employer. I will disagree very politely but vehemently about certain things where I don't agree with him. I'm not going to say he's wrong, I just don't agree with him. Like, he draws a conclusion, like, no, I don't agree with that. In this case, I will agree with the simple fact that Lotro is the best adaptation of The Lord of the Rings in any genre. Suck it, Peter Jackson fans. That's me being a bit of a smartass. The Peter Jackson movies are wonderful movies. Okay? If you hadn't read the books, you would have no problems with those movies because they are... The money, every dollar is visible on the page in those movies. If you don't know the books, the movies are... They're fine. The Hobbit movies... The Hobbit movies have their own separate problems. Even though they're closer to the book that they're adapted from, I could live without the whole Rivendell sequence. I can live without Sylvester McCoy's Radagast. I could live without the council, the White Council going up against Sauron in Dol Guldur. I can thoroughly live without the stupidity that they did with Tauriel. I could live with them having a female elf character. See, this is what you get when you let the quest, you don't actually take the thing. So, it kicks you into the next thing. In terms of filmmaking, they're wonderful. Rings of Power itself is not as bad as a lot of people slag it for. Some people have decided early on before they even watched it that it was shit, and they just went down that path and they never gave it a chance. So I just write those folks off. The ones who were like, okay, I'm going to keep an open mind and then I'm going to decide. I respect their opinions while I don't agree with them. But I will agree with Corey that Lotro is the best adaptation of Lord of the Rings in any media so far. Bar none. They're better. It's a better adaptation than the Jackson films. Sorry, it is. It's a better adaptation than Rings of Power. I'm not sure if I would say the Jackson movies are a better adaptation than Rings of Power. The problem with Rings of Power is that they also had only the same access that Lotro did with a little extra spice on top. They can dip a little bit more into the wider legendary, like the Silmarillion stuff, without being the Silmarillion. So, unlike Lotro, they didn't have as much stuff to adapt from, so they had to extrapolate more. And so there's a lot more stuff that they just made up themselves. And they didn't have Jeff Libby and Chris Pearson's 20 years of experience doing that shit. I'm just saying. Okay, Tathata has passed. That's a very small grave, I have to say. Okay, we're gonna leave her dagger on the grave. Okay. Your blade has found its name. It shall be Boglitir, and that is Cruel Dancer and Sindarin. Remind me of she who participated in the death dance in last con. She remains with me now. Alright, let's go back and talk to the Golden Queen. Ah! We can go this way. Go through the north gate. Stew! You want to like Rings of Power has some really great parts, but you're still looking for more. Yeah, it's entertainment. See, part of the problem is... Well, part of what makes it difficult for some people to enjoy it is because they take this, like, super seriously. And there were, of course, the folks who like to watch certain hate streamers and are fans of, you know, basically following that like sheep. And never gave the show a chance. So, I honestly, personally, when the next season of Rings of Power comes out in November, I'm going to watch it by myself. Why? Because I will not be able to enjoy it while everybody's yapping about it and slagging on it all around me. I need to watch it and enjoy it for what it is on its own merits. Because I'm not as critical about certain plot points or about certain choices that others would be necessarily. Like, for example, the kind of choice that I would have would be, why the fuck did Elrond be the one delivering Andúril to Aragorn? Why the fuck was Haldir at Helm's Deep? Those kinds of top level big changes, those are the ones that I would like to get cranky about. And like the character assassination of Faramir in the movies, in the Jackson movies. Yeah, there's no point in which I won't. There's no point in which I will forgive Peter Jackson for that bullshit. And also, let's be honest. I want to see other people making Lord of the Rings stuff, Middle Earth stuff. I am freaking tired of Peter Jackson needing to be involved in anything on the screen involving Middle Earth. War of the Rohirrim had the potential for being literally other minds and hands, which is a phrase that Tolkien himself used, that he himself wanted to see other minds and hands making Tolkien related stuff, as long as it wasn't Walt fucking Disney. But with War of the Rohirrim, we were sold that this was Middle Earth but anime, and I thought that was pretty cool and exciting. And then we heard that Miranda Otto would be doing a voiceover as Eowyn, and I'm like, oh, no, don't. Let that be the only Peter Jackson tie to this. Because we were not told it was Peter Jackson's Eowyn, but she was just being Eowyn. And then originally all the press was talking about, you know, the creators, the people who actually made that movie, the animators, the director, all of that. So we heard all of those names. I don't even remember who they are now because things changed over time with War of the Rohirrim to where it was a Peter Jackson thing. So Peter Jackson presents, Peter Jackson this. Peter Jackson could go fuck off. I'm so sick of Peter Jackson having to be in charge of all of the Tolkien stuff on screen. Hunt for Gollum, that's Andy Serkis. That's got to be tied to Peter Jackson stuff. And the whole thing with Colbert and his son doing a thing. The fact that Peter Jackson had to be the one to do this. No, he doesn't. He does not own this. He shouldn't own it. Other people should have a chance. Let other people do their thing without him attached to it. Without him and Philippa Boyens putting their thing on there. I'm tired of it. I want to see other people's takes on it. You know the part that I love about Star Wars more than anything else is when they do the Star Wars visions. When they do these things, they just say, okay, you anime studio, go make a Star War. Or you French animation studio, you go make a Star War. And the only thing that ties it all together is that it's Star Wars. It's not the same 5 people making Star Wars, which is why anytime there's a new Star Wars thing, it's now about Dave Filoni and Dave Filoni's vision for what Star Wars should be, because Dave Filoni is the heir apparent of George Lucas, handpicked by George Lucas. But Dave Filoni, I would like to point out, this is not that I think Peter Jackson did a bad job. I like a lot of Peter Jackson stuff. He did quality work. I'm not disputing that in the slightest. I question some of his choices. But it's like Dave Filoni in Star Wars. He did an amazing job with Clone Wars. He did an amazing job with a whole bunch of Star Wars properties. But any Star Wars project that wasn't his, they always had to tie it into the Filoni-verse. It's no longer Lucas's Star Wars. And part of this was the reaction against Kathleen Kennedy because, oh my god, you can't have a woman in charge of Lucasfilm. Oh my god. But it is all tied into what Dave Filoni wanted. So, like, The Acolyte was an amazing High Republic story, including a couple of High Republic characters from those books. But they had to then tie it into the Filoni-verse. And tie it into, the Skywalker saga. It's like, I would like Star Wars that have absolutely nothing fucking to do with the Skywalkers. Give me Jedi versus Sith. Knights of the Old Republic are great. Because, then again, I kind of got tired of Revan being in all the Knights of the Old Republic stuff. Even 300 years later in Star Wars The Old Republic. The actors playing Anatar and Celebrimbor, Charlie Vickers and Charles Edwards, holy shit, they were so good. That's probably the part that I enjoyed the most, even if it was very different than was expecting. And of course, Owain and Sophie, the actors who played Durin and Disa, and Robert Aramayo and Owain as Elrond and Durin. The bromance there was glorious. Ben Walker as Gil Galad was amazing. I actually liked Rory Kinnear as Tom Bombadil. His dad was in the original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie with Gene Wilder. True story. There's some really amazing... And I love Morpeth Clark, who plays Galadriel in Rings of Power. I love the Harfoots. Not so much of a fan about the whole stranger thing, about where that wound up. I love Muriel. Lloyd Owen as Elendil. And Tristan as Ar-Pharazôn. Oh my god, he is so good at playing the bad guy. He is so good at it.
Returned safely from Umbar
Ooh. There's a lot to like about Rings of Power. There's also a lot to not like about it. But the story having been compressed and having to basically make up a fictional compressed timeline, they were never going to do well with that. No, I don't think anybody could do well with that.
One name was suggested more than any other to replace the missing members of the kingdom,
That's mine!
and that name was your own.
Because I was helping people. Okay. Hi, Jaw-Jax and Daxamat.
Your name grows in worth.
See, this is where we don't know that Rothog. I would say Rothog has a good heart necessarily, but Rothog doesn't have an evil heart. And that's really what's important here. Is they can, I mean, it causes you to not judge a book by its cover, right? Because Rothog, he has his own moral standings, but he's also not an evil being automatically just based on who his race is. Whereas Koltek, he definitely gives off petty dwarf vibes.
You grow more impressive by the day. Must I keep an eye upon you from now on?
Yeah, I mean, Koltek was giving off the I'm definitely not on your side sort of vibe. Oh, hey, there's a barter here.
Do you have need of something?
Oh. This is a Cappy person. So if my Cappies wanted... it's buy down acquire, so I'm not gonna... And I'm also not a captain. But yeah, you can get heralds for your Cappy here. Which makes sense. I like it.
Yes?
Alright, let's go talk to Jaw-Jax over here.
I am amused, honored, and a little upset with you.
I love the voice actor for Jaw-Jax. And a little upset with you. Oh, Jaw-Jax, you silly boy.
You have done well for us. Of that, there can be no doubt.
Alright, chapter 9, we done? Alright, let's go talk to Jaeth outside. Probably gonna go for another hour and change. And before we end the stream, I will be giving away a couple of 100-point codes. So there's going to be a couple winners tonight. So definitely put your points in chat. Points with an exclamation point at the end. Hi, JF. How you doing, buddy?
I should prevent Kingswoman Tavata from entering Galaja.
She's thrown in with the traders? I cannot believe it. And now we pick up chapter 10.1.
A number of unusual folk were looking for you. I trust they were friends of yours?
Oh yeah, they're good. Okay, our good friends are coming to say farewell. We're gonna deal with that later because that's 4 chapters away. Yeah, basically, Colteco's, you were just, like, you knew he was slimy. You were just waiting for him to finally get off his ass and betray us. It's like, yeah, we were waiting for that. We knew that was going to happen. It was just going to happen, you know. Okay, what's in here? Okay, Portrait of the Beast. Housing deco. Yeah. Okay, they're all the way back there at the gate. So we will go through the rich part of town. Go down that wide thoroughfare there. I'm not gonna do her quest here. I mean those are optional. Those are really nice quests. I have already done them on my main, so I don't feel the need to do them again. Again, Umbar Baharbêl is such a beautiful city. The fact that it's a hodgepodge of, you know, buildings over the course of years and decades and millennia does not take away from how pretty it is. I think the devs did a great job building it. Wait, wasn't Ehud? Wasn't he down in the basement? We turned in a quest into that guy, didn't we? So if you didn't do all the optionals, they won't all be here. And I will point out, by the by, that let's just say that Corey's two characters had Halros go south, as far as I'm aware. So I keep pushing him, pressuring him slightly, to do a next Wigan marathon. So, the twins are taking Nimrodel home. He's going to lose his mind at Nimrodel when he gets to the King's Gondor bit on Wigan and he finds out who Nimrodel is. It's going to be great. Because that was like the moment, like, when Corsairs of Umbar come out, we knew Jajax was coming back. So, having him show up, you lost your mind. I did too. Yeah, he hasn't done this yet. He is his front running character Wigan, the one he only does the epic on, has only gotten to the gates of Gundabad. He hasn't stepped inside Gundabad yet. So he has to do all of Gundabad and then he can start doing Corsairs. But he only plays Wigan like once a year, maybe twice a year. Does like long marathons. Normally he does like a short marathon at Mythmoot, but he's not going to do one this year. But he is talking about trying to find time to do a separate marathon with Wigan. So we're all looking forward to that. So we already had Jajax. We already like, oh, okay, whatever. And then we come back and there's Lothariel, and then there's her friend that we all knew from the Avorum. And then Arwen is like, Nimrodel? And I'm like, what just happened there? What the fuck? And then they tied it into the story of the sisters. I mean, like, we already knew about the sisters, like Roaming Star and the others. And, you know, those of us who play through OG Gondor on the way up to Minas Tirith knew about the story of the River Sisters. But to find out that Roaming Star was the reason Nimrodel did not meet Amroth, and Amroth leapt from. Oh my god. So Corey is going to be. And he's going to start thinking back to all the Avorum stories. And it's been so long, so I don't think he'll remember the Avorum stories. And from my understanding, having talked to Maid of Lions after the fact, is if you do the OG Avorum stories, it's telegraphed there a little bit. Pardon me. Alright. Nario! You're not leaving. You have a new apprenticeship at the Shoreward Stone. Yay! Oh, Sirgan. I love Brutus and Rossarin. I also love these puddles. These are like Scenario's favorite puddles. Like, look at the texture on those and the fact that it reflects the light. Those are so good. Those little mud puddles.
There you are.
See, the whole story about Sigileth and Cruel Dancer, Sigileth learned that vengeance is not healthy for you. You're leaving just as well. Ever since Azagoth Sea Shadow has he waved fled from the Citadel, I've been itching to return home and tell Orgalas and all my friends about the adventures I've had since we're coming here. They will not believe me, but perhaps you will come back. When you come back to Pinneth Gelen, you will tell them it is all true. They will be astounded. Mom ain't telling me shit. You imagine being shipwrecked would be pretty exciting. Would like to see for yourself. Just no, you don't. You really don't.
It is time for me to return to the caves of the Arboretum in Belcola.
The Arboretum. I've always said Arboretum, but Arboretum. Okay. Well, bring my people from the cavern that has been their home, and we will no longer mourn but rejoice in the light of the sun and the feel of the breeze. Perhaps by the time we arrive, I will be ready to do this. It is one thing to speak it, and another to see it done. This is the wish of my heart. Lothariel will help me in this, I'm certain of it. Okay. Yep, Gimli's going too. Because Legolas and Gimli can't be parted, and you know. We're gonna salute or wave. I'll just whatever.
Queen Arwen and King Elisar would never forgive us if we allowed any harm to befall Nimrodel during her journey.
Yep. Yvelfir wants to accompany her, and Eldan and Elra here while she was to. To my surprise, Gimli also has to come along, and I'm glad of it, but his reason is clouded to me. He wants to hear from Nimrodel, about the caves in which her people dwell, for some project upon which he wishes to set his mind. The thinking of dwarves was beyond me, but I'm happy for his company all the same. Oh, ha ha ha.
I do not know why Legolas is so surprised.
That wish to accompany him as it escorts the elf Nimrodel back to her home. I've been moved by what she has shared of her story, and it brings to my mind some of the greatest love stories ever told among the dwarves of Durin's folk. Beautiful tales, lovely and sad. Aww. Legolas and I have vowed to travel with each other to see places dear to each of us. For me, the glittering caves, and for he, the forest of Fangorn. Then to compare the relative beauty of each. I should fear to let him out of my sight, lest he forget this promise. And of course, I'd feel more at ease if Nimrodel was protected by the axe of a hale dwarf warrior. She reminds me of the Lady Galadriel, and I would see no harm come to her. The truth will out there, my friend. Alright. And Sirgan.
No, I am not leaving with them. I feel that I still have work to do here.
And you'd appreciate my help. Okay. You're going to be an ambassador of your choosing.
Begin today, if you are willing.
Okay. Belandar wants to meet with us. Alright, what are you two doing?
Your
Remain cautious, even though we have friends here now. We have friends everywhere.
It is true. I caution Nariel against pursuing her vengeance against the kindred.
Alright.
Are you ready to go?
Let's go meet
Speak with
Belondor.
Belondor about what awaits Gondor and Umbar in the days ahead. Belondor wishes to discuss with us what the future
I'm gonna take a
holds
moment to
for Gondor
turn
and for Umbar.
the sound down a little bit and maybe turn the voiceover up a little bit. Music was getting a little bit fractious there. You know me, I love Bill Champagne's music, but some of the stuff in Umbar gets a little bit out of hand. Just a little bit out of hand. Okay. Something.
Please.
I love that doorway.
Your guests have arrived, Lady Armella.
Okay, it's the remaining members of the kindred. 2 guardsmen in Sirgan. Okay.
King Elisar desires peace. I know it will be so.
Peace may be the friend of cowards. You must respect the might of Umbar.
Are not some battles won or lost before they are ever fought, Rothog?
What? No?
No.
Guardsman, I must ask that you leave us.
Are you certain, my lady? These outsiders may try to harm you.
With Rothog there? Are you kidding me?
With Rothog here,
See?
I do not think we need worry.
Very well, my lords and lady. Now there are fewer ears to hear what you have to say, Armelak. I must once again voice my dissent. These are kindred matters.
Your objection is noted, Holtec. Before we discuss our next move, we must speak of the past.
Okay. Tell them about the Sea Stone Mutiny. Socklapel is in the Shield Isles. Your forces captured Balchad, the 20-year-old son of Balchor. We held him here in the Citadel. And she's using the past tense.
Why have you not ransomed the son of Balakor to his mother Saclafale? Could Would that not end the threat posed by the heirs of Castamere?
It could, except...
The idea.
Mere weeks ago, Balakad disappeared.
Oops. Water carrier named Saduk cannot be found. Did he help him escape? Possibly.
It may be happenstance. Umbar can be a dangerous place.
Mm-hmm.
Who said anything about Umbar
Uh-huh. Sauce?
Where else might Balakad have vanished from sight?
Saduk served Azogars. It may be he spirited Balakad out of the city, and now seeks to rejoin his master.
Okay.
A small company must prevent Azagath and Nikasi from finding the evil they seek. Who will volunteer for this adventure?
My business with the traitor Azagath is still undone. I will accompany you, old friend. What say you?
I'm going.
We could use your courage and your skill on this adventure.
Sure, I'll go. I dare say the elves who also wish accompanied us. I met them each only days or weeks ago. So who else is going?
If Harmalak believes you can manage the rule of the city without us, I will join the pursuit of Azagath.
Which actually is a president.
Capable of it, Kingsman Koltek.
I would like to test my Kolpeshes against these foes that claim to be friends.
Then the traveling company is set, and the quest is laid before you.
It does kind of feel a little bit like the Council of Elrond just happened. So this is my trial to join the Kindred. I don't remember how that turned out. Well, I know we didn't join the Kindred. Well, something else happened, so it'll be a moot question by the time we get around to it. Okay. Okay, let's go.
Near Harad? I know very little of these lands, but I will not turn away from the mission that awaits us. Harmalok spoke of the need for many preparations before our traveling party can depart.
Okay, let's go speed up their... Let's go speed up their stuff. So we're way the hell over there. Let me see which stable masters I'm missing here in Umbar Baharbêl. Yeah, I'm not even gonna worry about it. Let's go talk to Harmalak. We'll go here and then grab the staple. the Bloody Eagle Tavern. Actually, don't I have a swift travel to the Bloody Eagle Tavern? I do not. Well, I should fix that at some point. I am going to be running missions on this character at some point. It's not going to be tonight, though. Yeah, we'll go down this way. Whoops, that's also not the way. I'm going the wrong way! Also still not the right way. Where am I going? A little bit further on down. Honestly, the harbor here reminds me a little bit, just a little bit, mind you, of Suramar in World of Warcraft. Definitely, as this is made by humans and not made by elves. So, I mean, there's a clear difference there. Yeah, we can ride through the city. What the hell? It'll be fun. It's a little bit easier in the city with, like, no players here. Hi, Stormlost. She's clawing my chair up right now. Hi. No. Hi, Stormlost. Now she grumpy. Little silly kitty catten. Storm lost the kitty catty. Storm lost the cat kitty. Storm lost the kitty cat. Prettiest eyes you've ever seen. We had an architect looking at the courtyard out there because I always complain about that post that as soon as you exit the meeting hall, that post is like right in your face.
I believe the errant members of my kindred prepared for an overland journey even before they recovered the map.
Alright, caravans. Prep a caravan.
Osaggoth betrayed the city and its people, but that is not the extent of his evil.
Well, Meshka knows the direction of my thoughts, and she's encouraged me to follow where my heart leads on this matter. But she didn't know I'd be leaving town, so... Alright, I gotta talk to your missus.
It is not a habit of mine to set forth upon a journey without knowing where it would end.
And then we'll talk to Rothog.
kopeshes have become dull from recent use. That business with the drake, rather cool.
Okay, now we need to talk to Meshka somewhere here, but I thought she was over there with him. But no, she's out in the hallway. We'll talk to her first, and then we'll see her to her husband's side. Oh, there she is. Hi, Meshka.
You wished to speak with me?
I will protect your Balandor as long as I may. See, it's like right in my face. And I have to say, the color-coded banners, they are so 90s. You know, I remember back in the 90s when everything was all about bright, solid bright colors. You know, the United Colors of Benetton and whatever. Okay, we are here.
You have a caravan order for me from the Golden Queen?
The road of riches has always been dangerous for caverns such as mine. Fear I can promise little. You understand. Alright. Let's go to the tour gardens. And we'll just go through the place over here where all the bad guys are. Remember, we do have a points giveaway going on. We're going to give away 2 codes for Lotro points. Just put points with an exclamation at the end to enter the drawing. This town was definitely not made for war steeds. And we all thought Minas Tirith was bad. And then Lotro said, hold my beer.
What? You have an order for me from Rothog the Storm?
Who will stay behind to feed Raw? For a shock, none of my fellows dare approach him. Well, that's, you don't have the answer. I don't know. Alright, let's go to the lower ward now. And we're gonna get to there from here. Did I already find this one over here? Nope, but I have now. I definitely appreciate the mixture of styles in building styles here, because it's obvious that the difference of styles is because of the different eras of construction, right? I do love me some translucent fabrics. Really, really cool. Though, of course, my favorites were the ones in Dull Amaranth, because they were blue. Easy to tell. rude.
What have you brought me? An order for supplies for a caravan leaving the city?
Ever since we accepted Koldek's order offer providing guards to the warehouse, items both large and small have gone missing in surprising quantities. I'm not blaming the dwarf, you understand, but just curious. Nothing more than that. Okay. So, basically, things are sus on that, aren't they? I like the Fathom Well a lot. And we're going to swim across. How deep is the Fathom Well? We can't tell. It is very deep. But this would be a good apartment to live in, I have to say. Get to look out over this little bit of water. Oh.
There you are, my friend. I see that the kindred of the coins have kept you busy making arrangements for our departure. I find myself thinking about
Yay!
the scribe that sailed with us on the Wave Hunter. Yes, Kaibar.
Alright, let's go to the tour gardens and look for Kyber. Because he did not go home on with the rest. I should get me some returns. Those will be very handy. And all the housing decos I can't get. And oh, I noticed the Unfalas skybox as well. Where was it? Oh, and the music. No! The Shield Isles skybox is probably my favorite because it's the one that's got the night sky. That's the one that's got the night sky. At least now I'll be able to travel back here more readily, which is ironic because I'm leaving this place. I do want to pick this up since I'm here. There we go. I need to get to the tour gardens from here, and I think I missed a turn somewhere. No, we might have found it. Maybe. It's the hall gate. Hold on. I love this little thing. It's like, what is this for? What does this do? Nothing. We don't care. And we're on the wrong side of the wall. Well. Let's get back to where I know I can get where I need to go. You should try that one. You like the Enedwythe one for its night sky? Yeah, the Shield Isles is the one that's got the, quite frankly, this night sky. It reminds you of the night sky and Spirited Away after the rain stopped, the clouds visible and starts coming through Miyazaki sky. Ooh. Yeah, what I should have done is gone over this way. Should have banged a right when passing the Sauron thing rather than banging a left. Got about a half hour left to go. It is kind of late here, but I still can be up a little bit longer, and also I'm not really tired at this point.
It is very good to see you again, my friend.
All right. We're going berry picking. There's a berry bush. Let's go find another berry bush. Here's a berry bush. There's a berry bush. And I don't think I missed that berry bush in the distance over here. In the Din of Arms. Where is it? Where is it? There was a berry bush over here. Here it was. So I've been getting the itch to play Dune Awakening again, but not on my friend's RP server. The downside to that is the simple fact that I had a fully leveled, well, not fully leveled, but a very leveled character on their server, and of course you can't take that to an official server to play, so it's like, So I don't know. They're also talking about the possibility of doing like solo servers or whatever.
Thank you. These should provide the amount of pigment for which I was made responsible.
Okay. Find your teacher. And your teacher is where? I can't see on this map. Well, I'll just follow the thing. Follow the quest arrow, Druid. I can do that. We're aimed in that direction. Wait a minute, hold on. Hold the phone. the guy is actually down here. Well, the good news is we got that stable point. So I just have to remember where that entrance is. Right here by that. Alright, well, let's go. YOLO. You know I had to see what happens, right? Wouldn't it be sad if you were like standing on this balcony and then suddenly you tripped and fell? Like, ah, splush. I think those little barges, they're so cute. Where we were looking here, Taktar. We need the entrance to Camera Bezur. It's right, like right there. Yeah, this is the one we need to go to. I'm in the completely wrong spot. The quest thing is not doing me a favor here. Let's get back to where we were in the tour gardens. I'm out of soda. That's okay. I got lots of water. Actually, not so much water. It's mostly ice in this. This is one of the things to where the game is suffering. The quest arrow is being tricked because the thing that I need to go to is actually in a different flat location. Alright, I'm gonna go this way. Come on, come on. Let's get back up to the tour gardens. Or else, well, you know what we could do? We're just going down here. Let's just go in here. This is a place we've never been to before. We're in the cellars. What I'm looking for down here is the frickin' stable master. Or the tunnel guide. Oh. Okay, well that was interesting. Let's try that again. Or actually, no, let's go to the other one. The one that's around the corner. Because that one is one we've been to before. Have we not? See, I'm going around in circles. And that's part of the problem with Umbar Baharbêl. You will get yourself turned around. But we have the stable point to get where we want to from within here. Oh, wait. They went to the same spot. What the fuck? Noticing the game is starting to get super laggy too. Because it amuses me to pick up a random ass mushroom. Aha, this is what I was looking for. Where is your tunnel guide? You just have random ass rats down here? Oh, there's your tunnel guide.
Umbar is a free city at last.
Alright, let's go to the place we needed to go to about a half hour ago. And we're about to do the giveaway for a couple of Locho points cards. So we got a couple of folks in the giveaway. 1, 2, 3. Anybody else wanting the points giveaway? Now's the time. Otherwise, I might just give each of the people who entered a code. I might just give out. I said I was going to give out 2 for sure. I'll give out 2 for sure tonight. Then I'll have 2 for Locho stream on next week. And then I have 1 for right here next Friday. Next Saturday. Next whatever. Let's go talk to the scholar dude. Where is he? He's over here.
Yes. Oh, I am in no danger.
Alright, we need to get your book back. So we got a little bit of a ride to go on. You're off? Have fun from the castle? Alright, Ponton. If you win, I'll just DM you the code. Because that's how I often do it. I'm still hearing some sound effects that have nothing to do with this area. So I'm thinking my audio has gotten stuck on some level. Yeah, there's some Moria sound effects that they're using in here. Interesting. Music U40 Catacombs Generic Landscape. Interesting. Not stairs, yeah. And the book is in a specific location. To actually look for it. See, there it is. Alright, and back we go. Back we go. That's an oblique Elda joke. She kept eating herself without meaning to do so. Exact same way. See, I actually didn't. I knew it was going to happen, so I didn't care. If I was riding my goat, you saw earlier, when I hop off that top ledge, I would bounce off the bottom ledge and not take any fall damage at all. It's actually kind of cool that way. I really do like how they did the crafting stuff here. Like abandoned planks for your wood nodes, carts of iridescent ore for your ore nodes, and just like random scholar mats on the ground. Who cares? So there. I found your book.
This is not the only time the Hulis Nerina have stolen away Karnash Tubuhara.
Okay, what you got?
My teacher, Jalim, has suggested that I begin the lesson, so I will do the best I can.
Already you have betrayed your lack of knowledge, young Kaibar.
You're not to blame for it, but you hail from Gondor and your words reveal. Near Harad, you name that land, but you speak in error. That is the Gondorian name for the place. Indeed, Harad is an Elvish word. It means south for these lands, or south of Gondor. And that relationship has been in one of uneasy tension. War of war. The folk who live there, it is Shagâna, the fair land. It means even too simple, a more complicated reality.
Tales from long ago speak of a green infertile and thread it with mighty rivers.
These men come from even further south in Jarmot, which my student Kyber might call Farhad, but they too came from Khand in the east. From other directions as well. From the west and from the north. They came from Numenor and later from Gondor. The Shagani number these among their cruelest oppressors. And so this is where they start flipping the script on what the locals, the whole colonial
I
thing.
understand the actions of Gondor in the south may appear unjustified to the Haradrim, but
None who join the armies of Sauron can claim to stand on the side of justice. How got the people of Harad? How did the folk of Shagâna come to stand with Sauron? Halim, did they not oppose his evil? Were there none who fought his domination?
Throughout the lands of the south, he was known as He Who Sees All, or Barhush.
And he came to dominate the very smaller kingdoms. In a time, the great Empire Borach. Those who opposed his rise were slain in terrible number. As the power of those kingdoms grew, so too did that of Bahush. Fewer and fewer stood against the might of this dark lord and his servants, and more believed that his and their strength might serve to drive back the ancestral enemies, the Kandari. Ooh, sometime we might get to see the Kandari, but it will not be soon, I don't think. The Numenorians, the Dunedain, and the Gondorians. And church ruled through fear. But so too did it promise something that the Shagani had sought for centuries, victory over their enemies. Was it a lie? Perhaps it was. And the execution of that lie would forever change the face of Shagâna and the fate of its people. But I've grown parched. Bring me a jar of water from the fountain down the way. All right. I understand being parched. Being Miss talks a lot today. I will need to refill my water bottle soon.
Thank you for this water. It will prove most helpful with my demonstration.
East and south, beyond the marshlands of Amarul, there was a green and fertile land called Sugadin, bordered on the south by the river Usal. That waterway formed a natural barrier between Shagâna and the lands where originated the great southern empire of Orach.
It is the most valuable of all the resources to be found in this part of Middle-earth.
Or it'll win any of Lady Harmalak's golden coins or the Abishal prize by kinsman Kultek and the Tememir dwarves. Water. Only with it can crops thrive. Without it, life cannot survive. You will notice its absence within a day. Within 3 days, you would kill to acquire it or perish yourself. Water can be even more valuable than this. Water can protect you from enemies. It gets a barrier, and if that barrier disappears... 200 years ago, a terrible drought and famine fell upon the green fields of Sugadin, where once thrived the abundant kingdom of Nisaka. The river Usal ran dry, leaving only the arid and cracked channel that was once its riverbed. Desert claimed the Khud, and the fertile land on either side of the Usal became the Lachadin, the withered lands. This distressing process came to be called the Great Darth, and the lands through which the Usal flowed never recovered. They will never be green again. The drying of the river Usal removed the last barrier between the Shagâna and the great southern empire of Orach. Armies of Orachai, Kind of marched north into Shagâna and brought from a separate kingdoms under the central control of the Hulburach and the Dark Lord he served. Most learned men believe the Great Dearth was not caused by nature, but was the result of Orchai sorcery given to them by Bahush. Ever was the Dark Lord seeking to remove the barriers between the lands under his controls and those he sought.
Can this be true?
Well, of course it can
The
be.
sorceries of the Empire of Ordok truly have such an effect.
Possibly. No, I am being foolish. How could I have forgotten the terrible smoke that Sauron sent before his armies during the war? The day without a dawn came to all of Gondor, darkening even distant Ithring, where my family lives. My mother and uncle resented my absence on that terrible day and the weeks that followed, but I witnessed it in Minas Tirith and knew the despair of it even as they did. Of course, Sauron could grant to the Urkhai such terrible powers if it served his spell purposes. Wait, have you ever heard of something called the Waves and Wind? Could it be some tale or legend of Sauron or Borach? Could it be related to the Great Dearth that dried the river Usal and brought the desert to Shagâna?
The Song of Waves and Wind. No. I'm not familiar with such a tale or legend as that.
The lands to the east and south of the Cape of Umbar contain many mysteries, and the histories of the people who dwell there are complex. It could be the mention of such a thing is simply buried or lost to time. Water and wind are both of great significance to the people who dwell in Shagâna, for each have greatly affected their lives across the centuries. If your travels bring you to these lands, I advise you to listen to the folk who dwell there, for they will be better teachers on such matters than even I can claim to be, with all of my renown. I sense now that I've given you what instruction you sought, and I must take my leave. Perhaps one day my student Kyber will be able to share such knowledge as this with you, but he's still young and unlearned. It will be some time. Thank you again for return of Kanash Tubu Uhara.
Thank you for providing this helpful instruction to us, Shalim.
Have a good night, Guarendes. I'm going to be heading out here momentarily myself. I've got to do the giveaway first.
Part of me wishes I could come with you on this journey.
Hey!
But a greater portion knows I cannot.
Talk to Harmalak. And I am known to the citizens of Umbar. I think this is actually a good spot to call it for the evening, anywho. So, I got some Lotro points. Yes. You know, I can actually go talk to the vendors now and do some stuff. Let's go find the vendor. They're not that far away, are they? Yeah, they're far enough away that I'm not gonna bother with them. Alright, let's do the giveaway. See who's gonna win some Lotro points for me tonight. Giveaway close. 2 entries. I thought there were 3. Well, let's do the giveaway to make it official. Ponton, of course. Hey, there you go. Yeah, we were doing some points giveaways too. Alright, let me send Guarendes a DM and then Ponton a DM. I know you've been here and I said hi to you too. Alright. Search for people, Ponton. Mr. Ponton. Man, you two haven't won anything with me in like 6 freaking years. It's actually the codes that you guys won were from the old store. Jesus. Before they changed up the code, so they all have to be in all caps now. Alright. So, there's one for you, one for you. Next stream will be tomorrow night on DDO stream, and I'll be giving away DDO points then. How about that? Alright, the codes have been delivered via the Whisperers. Alright, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm supposed to go into this and then you fly toward Alaska again tomorrow? Nice. Eventually we're sending Professor Corey to Alaska, but that won't be until the fall. Anywho, y'all know the drill. Be good. If you can't be good at it. And I will see you maybe tomorrow night on DDO stream, maybe Monday night right here. We're going to play Let the Dice Decide. I did actually spend some time today during the moot quietly rebuilding all the augments and whatnot on my main in DDO. So that was fun. So she should... I'm actually probably thinking of running the Dragon's Hand quest with her at max level with all the hires and just blast right through it. So we'll see how it goes. Alright, be good. If you can't be good at it. I will talk to y'all later. Alright, bye now.